So, welcome everyone. So, we are going to explore works of Rabindranath Tagore today. So, what usually I do is I just kind of present a few lines from him, sometimes from Gitanjali, sometimes whatever I come across. And then I just put it on here. You have the screen share with in front of you. So we'll just take the liberty to explore it in our own way. Yeah, so there is no rights and wrongs in our interpretation. In whatever way it gives us clarity, we are free to explore. Yeah. So today the first thing I wanted to share was I've also shared in the chat window for those of us who are not able to see the screen. It's called Crossing 16 by Tagore. You came to my door in the dawn and sang. It angered me to be awakened from sleep, and you went away unheeded. You came in the noon and asked for water. It vexed me in my work, and you were sent away with reproaches. You came in the evening with your flaming torches. You seemed to me like a terror, and I shut my door. Now, in the midnight, I sit alone in my lampless room and call you back, whom I turned away in insult. So, I found this deeply resonating with our day to day life, not only day to day life, even if we look at life from a, like we revisit our life, our moments. So, let's take a pause and we can then share whatever is coming uh, after reading these lines. Yeah. So let's take a pause, go through these lines again in our silences. And then one by one, whenever you feel ready, you can just unmute and share and we can discuss the interpretations. Yes. So anyone on this, any coming insights or reflections? So feel free to explore. There is no right and wrong here, so that don't feel hesitant that maybe whatever I am imagining it to be, whether it is that or not that, it doesn't matter. Just allow yourself to explore.
Hi Monica, this is
So
Chitra.
Chitra, yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, तो ये पढ़ के तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे it is like our childhood and youth, जिसमें हम हर चीज को इग्नोर करते हैं because we are so egoistic and so materialistic कि बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें भी ignore in life. But then when we reach to our old age as in when your kids are settled and you're alone, तो आप देन यू स्टार्ट पॉन्डरिंग कि आपने लाइफ में किया क्या। तो आई थिंक दिस इज व्हाट आई कुड अंडरस्टैंड, मतलब दिस इज माय इंटरप्रिटेशन फ्रॉम फॉर दिस, कि जो भी हम करते हैं, तो आई थिंक वी शुड बी मोर अवेयर इन व्हाट वी आर डूइंग। जो भी कर रहे हैं फुल अवेयरनेस से करें, क्योंकि आई मीन हाउ शुड आई पुट इट।
So what do you mean by जो भी कर रहे हैं फुल अवेयरनेस से करें? Would you like to shed some light upon that?
हाँ, दैट इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू थिंक, हाउ शुड आई पुट इट, कि लाइक यू हैव मनी, यू हैव हेल्थ, आप हर चीज को इग्नोर कर रहे हैं और कुछ भी खा रहे हैं, कुछ भी पी रहे हैं, और पैसा है तो उड़ा रहे हैं विदाउट थिंकिंग आपको, मतलब कुछ सेविंग करने के लिए। और फिर एंड में लाइक वी स्टार्ट पॉन्डरिंग कि हाँ, अब इफ यू टॉक अबाउट हेल्थ, जैसे हेल्थ को लेके अगर लोग ये सोचें कि हाँ, बाद में फिर जब तबीयत ठीक नहीं है, दवाइयाँ खा रहे हैं और सब, तो तब लगता है कि हाँ, शायद उस टाइम सोचा होता, थोड़ा ज्यादा ध्यान दिया होता सेहत पे, उस तरह से आई मेंट टू से।
Okay, right. So आप कहना चाह रहे हो कि whenever we are over indulging in
हम्म
whatever,
हम्म
somewhere deep inside we know that this is not the right way to go. Yeah.
हम्म,
But we keep on ignoring. We don't listen to that voice. We just overindulge in whatever we are going through in life. Yeah.
बिल्कुल।
So you are saying that we are not aware of that inner inkling that this is not the right way to go, maybe, but we still ignore it and go ahead and bang our head on the wall as well.
बिकॉज वी आर सो, मतलब जैसे घमंड तो एक गलत वर्ड रहेगा, बट समथिंग उसका कुछ मिलता जुलता कुछ शब्द ऐसा रहे,
अहम
क्योंकि
अहम कहना चाह रहे हैं
हाँ,
मतलब।
हाँ, मतलब
अहम।
अपने इतने अहंकार में हम लोग रहते हैं कि अ, ऐसा है, यू नो, वी कीप पुटिंग थिंग्स फॉर टुमारो, कि कल कर लेंगे, परसों कर लेंगे, अब क्या है यार, कर लेते हैं, फिर क्या हो गया, देखी जाएगी। सो इस तरह का जो एक हमारा बिहेवियर रहता है, सो वही चीजें हैं जो एंड में आके, एट द एंड ऑफ द स्टोरी, जब आपका सब, यू नो, लाइफ इज कमिंग टू एन एंड, व्हेन यू हैव नथिंग टू डू, नो एनर्जी, नो हेल्थ एंड नथिंग, फिर इवेंचुअली आप उस चीज पे आ जाते हो कि यार, अब जब था तब तो उसको भगा दिया, अब नहीं है तो अब ढूंढ रहे हैं। सो दैट्स माय
Very
पॉइंट
true.
ऑफ व्यू।
Yeah, yeah. You know, this reminds me of a Kabir couplet. He says, uh, "सुख में सुमिरन ना किया, दुख में करते याद, कहे कबीर ता दास की कौन सुने फरियाद." So when you did not make a habit of listening to this voice of knowing within you, which who always knew what is the right way to go, you did not make it a habit. सुख में सुमिरन ना किया, अब दुख में जब तुम कोशिश करते हो तो वो आवाज सुनाई नहीं देती, उल्टा वो रिग्रेट, गिल्ट, शेम, बस वही सब दिखता है। सो दुख में फिर फायदा नहीं हो पाता। अगर जो अच्छे दिन है, अगेन वन मोर ऑन दिस इज, अच्छे दिन पाछे गए, किया ना गुरु से हेत, अब पछतावा क्या करे जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत। सो यू वर शेयरिंग एंड इट रिमाइंडेड मी ऑफ दैट। But then I feel that no matter whether it's our old age or a young age, whenever we have the opportunity to wake up to that inner voice of knowing, we must make a move. It's
यस,
never too late.
यस,
It's never too late. Yeah. Mother says that it's never too early. So whenever you can get up, just get up. Don't bother about how much time has passed or what is there left, but just get up. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Anyone
थैंक
else?
यू।
Good evening,
Yeah, hello.
Monica and everyone. So Chitra is my sister also. So here I was just listening to her and you both, and कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ऐसे लग रहा था जो ये dawn to dusk से जो जर्नी है, are they talking about the inner conscious, जो हमारी conscience है, जो हमें वक्त बे वक्त जगाती तो है, but somehow we just shun it कि you know I don't know, थोड़ा सा to understand What is it that keeps coming to us at different times of the day or our life, if we take it from uh, dawn to dusk? These are stages of our life. So evening is obviously the life is over, and तो क्या तब हमारे अंदर का conscious जागता है? Does it mean that? So I'm still thinking, and I would like obviously others to also give the input so that हम सही track पे सोचें and we try to understand that.
Yes. So anyone else on these lines? Gurpreet ji, Swapna, Ruhul, I have shared with you whatever we are discussing. There's a little passage that we are discussing. So please go through that, and after a pause, you can share your reflections.
Okay.
Yeah. Gurpreet ji, Swapna, if you have anything to share on these.
Yeah, Monica, the first thing that came into my mind was, as Komla shared, inner voice. That was the first thing that came. And it not only tells about our journey from youth, I mean, from childhood to old age, but I think also from ignorance to light. I think those stages are also somehow being depicted here. Like, when we are ignorant, that inner voice comes and taps the door, but we pay no attention to it because we are, I mean, we just don't know how to see it. We are in that state of ignorance, right? But as we progress, dheere dheere, uh, it has been very beautifully said ki, in the start, first few lines it said that you came to my door in the dawn and sang. So as if what I feel is कि जब वो ignorance वाली state होती है, the inner voice, I mean, as if the divine also gives a gentle tap, I feel. So it comes as a song, for me it comes as a song because it's a gentle tap. Okay, wake up, you need to wake up. And then you come in the noon and ask for water. तो आई थिंक उसमें वो होता है कि अभी वो इग्नोरेंस की लेयर्स अनफोल्ड नहीं हुई है एंड स्टिल इट इरिटेट्स मी एंड बट as we progress, I feel why it's written you came in the evening with your flaming torches is कि I think धीरे धीरे when you start moving from ignorance towards lies, you start seeing many things start unfolding in front of you, and so it becomes a little scary, I think. And I can't see the last thing. I don't know. Can you share the screen or something? I'm not being able to. One sec.
It's there in the chat window if you can
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And now in the midnight, I sit alone in my lampless room and call you back whom I turned away in insult. I feel this is the state, uh, how I can feel is ki now then when everything is, when I'm being able to understand everything, now I'm looking for that. And yeah, now I'm really struggling to hear my inner voice, inner conscience, or whatever you say. And जिसको मैंने ऐसे, I had shunned away. Now I'm looking for that. Yeah, this is how it comes to me.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. Hmm. Swapna, would you like to share?
Yeah, well, my mind went into it in the more shorter term. I find it interesting that everyone went into some time frame, whether it was a lifetime or youth in particular, or anyway, my mind went to just like today or a daily life, and that it was like people or animals or birds, like literally in the morning, that first couple of lines being that if I'm awakened from my sleep, whether even if it's as beautiful as birdsong, I can get irritated. If somebody comes asking for anything, even though I don't have children, I imagine if it was a child coming and asking for water, or a colleague wanting something or needing something, or in any role that one finds oneself in life, someone needs something from us, and there comes kind of pushing away, or oh, you're bothering, disturbing my peace, my day, my agenda. And I wasn't quite sure what the flaming torches quite referred to, but still, to me, somehow it was like not accepting a gift that a person or a life situation presents, and all these lives, all these life so-called disturbances, whether it's a bird or a human being, is the Lord in disguise, is God or the mother, and still there finally we get to a point where we wake up and realize, oh, I've been turning away the divine, however he or she was showing up in my life, and the awareness of what, like the dawning of an awareness, is the sitting alone to contemplate what has been going on and coming to awareness, maybe.
Yeah, thank you, Swapna. I think the beauty about these words by masters and mystics is that they can just be, they have multi-layered levels of interpretation. So it can be seen as a time frame throughout life, or, it can also have this meaning of just today, or maybe this moment itself, how I have been kind of progressing in my becoming, from unbecoming to becoming, from being to becoming, how I have been evolving. So the beauty is that it's all right to interpret in all the layers possible, whatever resonates and brings clarity in our own mind. So I think that goes with even Savitri. When we study Savitri together, we see that it is also referring to a collective human consciousness. Then it is also referring to a little individual consciousness, my life, my own troubles, my own issues. So it all goes together, and we can just go deeper and deeper and pick up any layer, whatever layer is resonating with me right now. Yeah. So I'll ask Ruhul if you have anything. Ruhul, would you like to share anything upon this?
Uh, no, Manisha. Maybe I will try on the next phrase.
Okay. So let's go one by one again and see if there is more that comes up. I'm not sure. Let's see. I think you all have already touched upon the essential aspects. Just a second. Okay, so you came to my door in dawn and sang. You've already covered that. That it initially, this knocking of inner voice, which knows, which understands, which wants to direct us to a particular direction in life. Okay, ये वाला path ले लो, ये वाला नहीं ले लो. कुछ हल्की हल्की आवाज चल रही होती. It's muffled, very muffled. It comes as a very soft voice. It's not very demanding in nature. It comes very softly and mostly like harmony. It brings more like beauty and rhythm. It wants to enter more of rhythm into my life. But I say beauty. Who wants beauty? My life is okay as it is. I don't want any more beauty. I'm fine in my life. So far I've not been challenged by diseases. Not many rejections have happened in my life. So I'm saying, to heck with the beauty. I don't want any beauty in life. Why? Because my life is okay. So why would I care for beauty? Yeah. Dawn refers to a softness and beauty, and also light, as Gurpreet ji was sharing. And it angered me. It gratefulness is a bigger thing. It angers me that how dare you wake up from my life as I was living it. Who on earth gave you this dare to come to my life and tell me that my life is not that beautiful, I have to make it more beautiful? Who told you that? So almost it has to, it comes with anger. It angered me to be awakened from sleep. This is the sleep of ignorance, I believe, a reference to sleep of ignorance. We continue to sleep in our own ignorance, living as emotional patterns, living as thought patterns, living as me and my story in my head, not any time ready to challenge it. Yeah. And then comes the beauty of suffering and rejections from life, falling our nose in life. I say that's beautiful because only then we try to wake up. Even we try to look up that what was wrong with my life. We are not ready to accept that there is something wrong with our life. सत्संगत की हम बात करते हैं, we talk of सत्संगत, good company. A good company is very, very threatening. Why is it threatening? Because it will tell you again and again what is wrong with your life. Now, who on earth has that warrior spirit who would allow again and again to be declared, yes, still there is something lacking. Yes, still I want to improve. Still there has to be something changed in my life. Who on earth is ready for that? We mostly have friends which are massaging our egos, and that is called kusangat in terminology of saints. That is not satsangat. Satsangat is a company which will challenge me again and again to ruthlessly examine my life so that it can be purified further. And it angers me. I don't want to have that beauty. I'm fine with my so-called ugliness. I don't see it as ugliness so far. Yeah. So it angers me. Why are you disturbing my schedule? Yeah. And you went away unheeded. So it's a soft voice. It doesn't force, it doesn't push. The voice of knowing, the voice of understanding कि पता है कहीं पे कि किस तरह का जीवन नहीं जीना है, बट वही जीवन जिए जा रहे हैं. क्यों जिए जा रहे हैं? सोसाइटी कह रही है, समाज कह रहा है, उसने कह दिया, मम्मी ने कह दिया, पापा ने कह दिया, मुझे खुद लगता है. कभी क्वेश्चन नहीं किया कि ये मुझे खुद लगता है या समाज का दिया गया है. कभी क्वेश्चन नहीं किया. So you went away unheeded. You get obscured for some time. You came in the noon. In noon, the intensity of light is very strong. You came in the noon. Noon activities are going on. Everybody is busy there in their schedules, life schedules, duties, responsibilities, obligations, and you asked for water. So simple. You asked for water. You were thirsty. You asked for water. It vexed me in my work. Now, whenever I have to introduce something new in my life, I have to struggle to make arrangement for it. कि अच्छा सत्संगत को जगह तो देनी है, लेकिन पूरी लिस्ट आप देखते हैं कि अच्छा इस समय बच्चे को छोड़ने जाना है, इस समय इसके एग्जाम, ये सब. फिर आप कोशिश करते हैं उसको कहीं एडजस्ट करने की. ठीक है. It disturbs our life pattern. It vexed me in my work. Yeah. So there is, I don't know who is, yeah, Gurpreet ji was unmuted. It vexed me in my work, and you were sent away with reproaches. So with a lot of disapproval, I sent you away, that don't bother me, don't bother my life schedule, how it is set, because it disturbs my peace. So there is someone who wants to come again and again and want to show me a beautiful life, a better way to live, a more freer and liberated life. But I have no time. I am so busy in my life patterns, what I think are important in my life, that I have no time to give it to it. Yeah. So I disapprove of that. I say अभी मेरे पास समय नहीं है बाबा, बाद में आना. Almost like that. क्यों? क्योंकि अभी सब कुछ तो ठीक चल रहा है. सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है. मॉर्निंग थी, पहले डॉन था, अभी सब ठीक चल रहा है. फिर नून हो गया, आई एम सो बिजी विद माय वर्क, सब बढ़िया, सब ओके. हाँ. You came in the evening with your flaming torches. So I see also it as like a lot of intensity and the capacity to see. There is something in me which is forcing me to see and look at what kind of a life I am living. So that's why a flaming torch. And also a flaming torch because a flaming torch has the capacity to burn away the old patterns. But I am happy with my old patterns. I have never questioned them. I say this is life. बाकी लोग भी तो ऐसे ही जीते हैं, मुझे भी ऐसे ही जीना है. So you came with flaming torch. Kabir also talks about, I have a flaming torch in my hand. The one who is ready to burn his own house should burn his house and then walk with me. And house means any boundary that I give myself, any image, any roles that I fix myself into. That is what is the boundary. It limits us. Yeah. So Kabir is also invoking ki I have a flaming torch in hand. Are you ready to burn your house? Are you ready to leave the ways you have been living? Okay, you are not ready, then do not come with me. But if you are ready, take this flaming torch, burn your house, burn your boundaries, and come with me. Along with that, it also tells me that I also get a more capacity to see and examine the life I am living. So I'm full of, I see that this is not really a worthy life that I have been living so far. So I see all the ugliness in me. बुरा जो देखन मैं चला, बुरा ना मिलिया कोई, जो मन खोजा आपना, मुझसे बुरा ना कोई. So Kabir says all the ugliness of life is lying here. So there is an intensity coming to me. It's saying, look at your life. I'm not ready. I don't feel ready to be looking at my own weaknesses. How on earth can you say I have weaknesses? I am beautiful. I am complete. So I don't want to look at my weaknesses. Yeah. So also I got a reference of this also when I was going through that. So flaming torch also is, as I said, burning of my pre-existing borders. All the thoughts that I think about myself, all the self images I keep on protecting. These many years of sadhana, itni to mere mein improvement ho jani chahiye. So this is all I keep protecting. Yeah. You seemed to me like a terror. How on earth can you say that I have not spent good time in these 20, 30 years? How on earth can you say that my sadhana has gone waste? So you seem to me like a terror. You are asking me to burn my self-image. My image is that I have something very, very beautiful. You are asking me to burn that beauty. I am not ready. So I am not ready to examine my life. I feel that something of beauty will be taken away. While the fact is that only something that is not belonging to me, which is ugly, which I'm just carrying as a burden, only that gets burned away. What is truth, what is beautiful, what is my own will never ever be taken away. But we are not ready. We are not ready. We are very attached to our sweets and lollies. We do not see that they are eating up our teeth, but we are very attached, because that is the way I have lived. So I shut my door. I don't want to burn my images. I don't want to keep aside my images. I don't want to have a life which shows me something new. So I shut my door. I am fine in my limited older patterns of life. I shut my door. And now, in the midnight, I sit alone in my lampless room. अब ये बात आ गई दुख की. तो पहले क्या बात हो रही थी? सुख में सुमिरन ना किया. अभी तक सुख 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 चल रहा है. अब आ गया दुख. Intense midnight, darkness. You are plunged into a challenge owing to any external situation, relationship breaking apart, children leaving you. You're all by yourself, dark, lampless, right? I sit alone and I call you back. Oh my God, now come to me, whom I turned away in insult. So अब जो जर्नी है वो शुरू तो अब भी हो सकती है, और हमारी मोस्टली जर्नी शुरू यहीं से होती है, लेकिन अब बहुत देर हो जाती है. मैंने बहुत समय गवा दिया, व्यर्थ गवा दिया. जब मैं शुरुआत कर सकता था. और होता क्या है कि somehow through our age, how we age as a human being, also it happens with the body conditions become so unfavorable for sadhana, that if I have not made it a practice in my younger ages, in older ages there are so many other ailments developing that it becomes very hard now to work on this path. I'm not saying it's impossible. We can start anytime. We must start anytime. But it now becomes more and more impossible. It's like hard. It's challenging. कि दर्द हो रही है, कभी हॉस्पिटल जाना है, कभी उधर जाना है, तो अब आपने उसी को साधना बना देना है. तो कबीर भी इस पे कहते हैं कि पहले जब क्या कहते हैं कि जब तक तेरे पिंजरे में जान है, जब तक हड्डियां मजबूत हैं, तभी तू शुरू कर दे अपना काम. सुख के समय पे ही शुरू कर दे काम. वेट मत कर कि जब घना दुख आके छेड़ेगा तेरे को तब तू शुरू करेगा, क्योंकि तब तेरे से होगा नहीं. तब हो नहीं पाएगा, तब थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा. वैसे भी मुश्किल है, ऐसा नहीं है कि आसान है, लेकिन करना वही है. सार्थक सिर्फ वही है जीवन में, और कुछ उसके अलावा सार्थक नहीं है. If I have a restless mind, what is the work that is worth doing? To bring it to clarity and restfulness. That is the only work worth doing. So Kabir and all the mystics have said that whenever you get up, it's never too early, as mother says, and it's never too late. Just get up and be on your toes. Yeah. So I would invite reflections. If anything has stuck, anything has resonated or not resonated, please unmute and share.
Hi, Monica. Yeah, I could resonate with almost everything you said. And it was like I realized, like when I like, and that first interpretation for me, or what it meant to me, this was behind it. Like you took it a few steps deeper. And yeah, in the first line about the voice going away unheeded, it reminds me of Mother and Sri Aurobindo saying that the psychic voice, or the soul's voice, comes quietly and it doesn't insist. And when we don't pay attention to it, it does. It just leaves, bearing no malice, with no drama. It just leaves. It just waits till you're ready to listen. And yeah, the inconvenience, like my ego, the number of times it can think, well, this is just so inconvenient. Surely it can't be God's way, right? But it often is. And yeah, how quickly do I want to listen? And the fact that the ego can think the initial, okay, well, it's like a recognition, like, oh, okay, that was my ego resisting. Then God must mean the opposite way, right? Like if my ego was thinking white, and that's why I had turned away from God, because God was actually saying black, and then I don't pay attention. It doesn't necessarily mean by the time I'm ready to pay attention to God that it is black. Perhaps it's a shade of gray, and therefore being open in that moment for the situation to unfold itself, perhaps. And that's the different lines of the poem indicating, like, there's these, in a way, shifting sands of the truth and the consciousness, and this loving availability, nevertheless, to listen as soon as we're ready.
Yes, beautiful, Swapna. मुझे लगता है कि the only purpose of all the relationship issues or all the challenges in our worldly life, the only purpose is to make us more porous to receive grace. As if the whole universe is conspiring for all of us. We have become stones almost, from stones to become sponge-like material. So it comes with all the blows and hammers and chisels and everything that it can use, all the tools, so that and if you look at the larger picture, it is wanting my benefit. It wants to tell me that, hey, if you can be moist like a sponge, why on earth do you allow yourself to be remaining thirsty and be like a stone? You have the possibility of being like a sponge. So why not allow yourself to go through all the shattering, all the chiseling, all the pain, rejections, misery, and then at least become like a sponge, so that the beauty, the grace that is 24/7 available, at least partake a bit of that. So if we see the larger picture, it's just beauty. But unfortunately, we are so addicted to our sweets and lollies, and we have not seen anything apart from our sweets and lollies. We think that if I lose that, oh my God, what will happen to me? Because I have not yet seen the life of a sponge. So it's something totally unknown for me. Yeah. But as we grow in faith, as you were sharing, as we grow in faith, as we take these leaps and bounds of faith in our life, we see that it's not getting badder, it's actually getting beautiful. It's not getting badder, it's not getting worse. I can see this expanding light of strength within myself, as if a pillar is, like widening pillar of strength I'm getting access to, which I did not have earlier. So you see that, you also see the advantages of it, but unfortunately or fortunately, because this is the way we are designed, the blindness of ignorance is so blinding that we have to come to it only through in degrees. It does not happen in a click, like blast and you are there. It just happens in degrees in our life, and even those degrees are beautiful. We get a taste of the beauty that the universe wants me to have, no matter how addicted I was to an earlier way of life, a limited way of life. So I feel that we must allow ourselves to expand and to break, to shatter, because this is only for our good, only for our good. Yeah. And there was this one quote that I was sharing with you, I guess, Krishnamurti, from Jiddu Krishnamurti. He says that we don't fear the unknown. I cannot fear a pink elephant. I've never seen a pink elephant. Yeah. So I cannot, you know, so whatever I'll be fearing is, I will be fearing whatever is in my head. For example, if I have lived with a person for 40 years of my life, so what I'll be fearing entering into a new phase of my life, oh my God, how would I live without him? So him is still in the picture. So it's actually the past I am fearing. It's letting go of the past that I am fearing. Unknown is still unknown. There is just totally unknown area. I don't know what is there. So there is nothing to be afraid of in the unknown. What we actually fear is letting go of our limited boundaries, because we feel that I am safe here. We have no idea that we have rotten. We have started to getting rotten here. We have not been able to see that. Once I see that I am getting rotten here, then it will not be very difficult to let go of a past and then move on into a future which may be unknown, but at least you don't want to rot now. Yeah. So it's again a blessing if one can see that rotting is happening. Usually we are very numb to it. We don't care. We call rotting our life. Again, in ignorance, not that we want to, but we don't know any better then. So as much as I get to know, then as much as I allow myself to move also. Yeah. So anyone else on these lines, or shall we go ahead to the next one?
I just wanted to add, this rotting that you're talking about, I feel from my life at least that a lot of, so to say, mistakes, but they're not mistakes, have brought me to this point in life where I myself see what's happening and the mess I am in. It's almost as if, you can't make a seed sprout. It sprouts when it sprouts. So the seeing happens when it happens. And the rotting is seen when it's to be seen, in a way. It can't be seen a moment earlier. I don't know. This is what I
Yeah,
feel.
yes, I would totally agree with you that whenever I am capable enough, because one needs a strength to see the rotting, one needs a certain strength. And whenever I would be capable enough, I would be made available that yes, this is happening. Very true. Yeah. Before that, it's not my possibility. It may be someone else's possibility through their own journey, but before that, it's not my possibility. Whenever I am ready, I am ready. I am with you there. Yeah. But then again, I think one thing is that there is nothing charted, and that is the capacity of free will. That this free will, whenever I am ready, I can use it. So I may be ready 2 years before, or I may be ready after 3 years, going through all the dramas which were needed. So as and when I am ready, I take a step and move on. So there is never too early and never too late, as we were sharing earlier. Yeah. So let me share something more for today, maybe one last thing. Um, yes, so this is again this is from Gitanjali, verse 98 or prose 98. I will deck thee with trophies, garlands of my defeat. It is never in my power to escape unconquered. I surely know my pride will go to the wall. My life will burst its bonds in exceeding pain, and my empty heart will sob out in music like a hollow reed, and the stone will melt in tears. I surely know the 100 petals of a lotus will not remain closed forever, and the secret recess of its honey will be bared. From the blue sky, an eye shall gaze upon me and summon me in silence. Nothing will be left for me, nothing whatever. And utter death shall I receive at thy feet. So let's take a pause and then share our reflections. Yes, anyone? It's a beautiful one. Anyone who has any insights to share, please share.
I would take it as the sadhana which we do for reaching the ultimate light realm 5, I would say. So this is all that the journey of reaching to that level, how I would get overcome my ego, my problems, and then walk on that path. Even being in that materialistic world, so that is the most difficult part, I think. संन्यास जिसको हम बोलते हैं लेना, आप गृहस्थी में रह के जो संन्यास लेंगे वो ज्यादा एक आपको इट विल टेक यू टू द much early maybe to that light, क्योंकि you will be struggling the whole day but still focusing on your main agenda. So this is what I feel is about. And your the whole journey which you've been taking, the path, and जैसे इसमें बोल रहे हैं the petals of the lotus, so obviously the end is always beautiful once you reach that light.
Yes, yes, Chitra. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Anyone else?
Hi, Monica. For me, well, just that first line, starting with, trophies, decked thee with trophies, garlands of my defeat. And all the challenges that life presents, all the places that, like, my empty heart will sob out in music, like a hollow reed. So basically, when hardships and blows come to my life, and normally I'm just in pain about it, here, it's like the divine speaking and saying just how blessed and what grace can look like. And at the end, always this promise, the last stanza from the blue sky, and I shall gaze upon me and summon me in silence. And so, like, once the ego has been shattered, once all the blows have come and I've fought them and I've held on to my identity, but ultimately being willing to recognize my identity or my choice to identify with blue sky, with silence, with noticing that what appear to be such painful blows in my life are just a shattering of ego and set patterns and set ideas to the ultimate. Yeah. Nothing will be left for me, the last two lines. Nothing, whatever, and utter death shall I receive at thy feet. I feel like that's the laying down of the ego, or being forced to lay down the ego.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Swapna. I think this also reminds me the couplet that I have shared today on YouTube. I was going through this only, and then it reminded me again of what Kabir says about that the warrior on this path will not be leaving the path even when he is getting shattered to pieces. He will not leave the ground, and that is the task. That is the very task. And what is getting shattered to pieces is only the ego. Truth cannot be shattered to pieces. My own truth cannot be shattered to pieces. All that can be shattered to pieces is whatever false I have been holding, thinking that this is me, thinking that this is me, this is what I deserve. So all that false will be taken away. And yeah, let's come to that again later. So anyone else wants to share on this?
Yeah, Monica, I can't go very deep into it. I'll tell you in a very few words what I feel. Um, I think the central thought that comes to my mind is that of aspiration, transformation of a human being, as if the first line that it says, I will deck thee with trophies, garlands of my defeat, is like as if, uh, in my defeat lies my victory. I want to decorate you with my garlands of my defeat. That means, seeing, matlab, I can't put it into words properly, but what I understand is कि अपने अंदर की ही वो कमियों को देख के, and by conquering all of that, it is a kind of my offering to you, something like that. And the next para is also something like that. I surely know my pride will go to the wall. This is what I want to do, and this is what will happen. And then I surely know the 100 petals of a lotus will not remain closed forever. So what it means, transformation will happen. And from the blue sky and I shall gaze is the grace that they are talking about. Matlab the lines depicting about the grace. And utter death to me means dying of that me part, my part, again that ego which you said. Utter that, and death exactly means that me, I'm completely death and I'm one with divine, that ultimate. For me it comes out like that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Gurpreet ji, thank you. Shreya and Komla, you haven't shared. If you want to share anything.
I'm happy to hear.
Actually, I'm also trying to be the sponge today, just to absorb what I am able to. So I do understand, and I have few thoughts that, like, there are certain things that people have shared here, but still I don't want to give away. I want to still absorb and understand more.
All right. Yeah. Yes, Komla ji. So let's go one by one again. Uh, I will deck thee with trophies and garlands of my defeat. So it's very clear that I will be defeated, and I have been defeated again and again, again and again, again and again. All my plans, all my wishes, all my imaginations of the life, that the limited life that I wanted, have gone to bonkers. So I have been defeated. So what it's, I also found it very funny, as if, there is this higher self. I know that there is this higher knowing above me, so called limited me, the ego, and it always wins. I never win. I have not a chance to win. It is never in my power to escape unconquered. I will forever be conquered by that higher knowing. Always truth will prevail. जब हम बोलते हैं ना कि सत्य सत्य की जीत होती है, always truth has to prevail. Truth is prevailing. So sooner or later, you always prevail and I get defeat. So I will deck you up with the trophies and garlands of my defeat, because that is all I have. I have always been defeated. As if there is this tussle going on. Who wins? Truth or falsehood? Yeah. Falsehood is the ego. Falsehood is all I think of myself is falsehood. My tendencies, my thoughts, my opinions, my prejudices, my life, my physical limited body, all that is falsehood, because I am not that. Okay, so we have to keep on saying neti karte rehni hoti uski, if we really want to go forward in this union. I surely know, it's very clear, I surely know my pride will go to the wall. I will bang my head on the wall again. बट क्या करूं, टेंडेंसीज का मोमेंटम इतना ज्यादा है कि मैं रुक नहीं पाता. This happens with each one of us. We know that we are going the wrong way, yet we are not able to stop. Why? Because the momentum of tendencies is so strong that we are not able to stop it. And that's why the gap between knowing and living. I know that this is not the right way to go, but what can I do? I feel so helpless. So it's not about us, it's just that I have been giving so far power to my tendencies, emotional patterns, and thought patterns, and living as them. So I have been the one who has been feeding them in oblivion. I did not know. As much I get to know, I then remove the support. I do not feed my tendencies anymore as much as I get to know. Yeah. I surely know my pride will go to the wall. My life will burst its bonds in exceeding pain. And my empty heart will sob out. Why empty heart? Because so far my heart was full of people, persons, situations, things, material, life, etc., etc. My visions, my imaginations. I was talking to Swapna in the morning, and it was very, very clear to both of us that this heart, the only person, or if I can say person, the only worthy thing to be kept in the heart is the divine. The moment I put a person in the heart, I will be, the line it shares, and my empty heart, because no person can fulfill me. No life situation can fulfill and give me contentment. So empty heart. I'm rid of my imaginations. I have tried everything. But even in my empty heart, I'm sobbing it out in music. So I'm sobbing, the heart is sobbing, because all that it thought the happiness will come from this, all the happenings in life, it did not come, it remained empty. And now I know that the only worthy thing to be put in the heart is the divine and nothing else. It's only you who can stay in the heart. It's not for a person, no matter how loved one that person may be in my life. Sooner or later, he's bound to go. Things are going to change, priorities are going to change. You cannot control a person's behavior. So do not keep persons in your heart. Only divine has to be in the heart. Otherwise, we go through pain and then we learn. That's another school of learning. We go through pain and then we learn that no, 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 I don't want to go through pain again and again, again and again, again and again. No, I'm not going to give this space to anyone. And yet I will be able to relate with everyone in love. So I'm not keeping any person in the heart. I may be keeping the person in the heart, but not in the sense that he will give me contentment. The contentment and peace and happiness in my life will come out of that relationship. That is not going to happen. So my empty heart will sob out in music like a hollow reed. Now it's empty. I have tried all my directions and I have failed. So it's empty. And the stone will melt in tears. the listening to this music of yearning, the stone that I have become, the ego, the stone of the ego, rigidity of the ego, the rigidity of emotional and mental patterns, that will melt. That will melt. So he's very certain now, after the experiences one goes through life. I surely know the 100 petals of a lotus will not remain closed forever, and the secret recess of its honey will be bared. So I think it is a reference to this yogic experience where this, it is believed that there is this opening on the top of the heart, top of the head. For example, in infants, you see there is a soft spot on the head. So infants or newborns, they are still connected to the divine consciousness, that the roof has not yet formed. So it remains that connection, that's why they are so much absorbed in themselves. They are content, they are joyous for no reason. And slowly as they begin to grow up, it starts to form, it like hardens, the shell hardens, and then it creates a disconnect. One begins to, but it is required. Why? Because one needs to now develop its own individuality. So the ego has to first form, grow, and then the ego needs to be surrendered. So first the ego has to form, the individuality has to form, and then it has to get surrendered. So this opening of the 100 petals, I believe, is a reference to that opening of Sahasrar, as we say, which connects you back again to the divine consciousness, to your own higher wisdom. It's nothing separate, there is nothing out there. It's all here only, but it's like I feel a deeper connection with the universal knowing. So I'm able to follow it more and more because it's right there with me. Yeah? From the blue sky, an eye shall gaze upon me and summon me in silence. Nothing will be left for me, nothing whatever. हमारे लिए बहुत सारी चीजें बची होती हैं, अभी ये पूरा करना है, अभी वो पूरा करना है संसार में, ये रिलेशनशिप पूरी करनी है, वो आउटर सिचुएशन फिक्स करनी है. सो हमारे लिए बहुत कुछ बचा होता है. बट फॉर अ सीकर ऑन दिस पाथ who is at this stage would say that I know that nothing can be given to me. There is no life situation that can bring me any content, any joy. It will forever be a partake of pleasure, pain. With pleasure comes pain. If a person is bringing me pleasure in life, when he goes away, it will be pain. So it comes together, it's joined. Yeah? So he's saying nothing will be left for me, nothing whatever, and utter death I will receive at thy feet. And this is the path of warrior, that सत संगत की तो खासियत ही ये है कि वो आपकी ईगो पे चोट करेगी. तो अगर किसी सत्संगत से हम बड़े खुश होके निकल रहे हैं तो कुछ गड़बड़ है. वहां पे कुछ गड़बड़ है. Because it should hit me somewhere. The ego has to get shattered. And if it is compelling me to reflect, compelling me to contemplate and look and examine at my own life, then something good is happening. But if I am in anand and bliss, then very soon it will be taken away. So satsangat is utter death. Along with bliss, it is also first pain of death, the death of ego. And it is a continuous process. Ego never dies because ego is an illusion. We have talked about this. Ego is Maya. It appears to be but is not. So how can I kill someone which appears to be but is not? You cannot kill it. I can kill this thing, maybe. I can burn it to ashes because this is a thing. But that which is not a thing cannot forever be gone. That's why they say, yes, Swapna, please share. Yeah.
Well, I went to like it's like two sides of a very thin glass.
Yeah, you're muted, Swapna. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was saying, sorry, that to me, I went to like a double, almost like a double meaning, but I can't see the lines anymore. But that last two lines of not just like, can you put the words up again, Monica? Is it easy for you? Because I can be more specific. But basically, I heard you saying about like the ego being knocked down, or even like the stone and the you know, that even the third from, or the second, I guess, from the top, the stone will melt in tears, or the hollow reed. These things, rather than something, there is that, how I heard you say it, like the emptiness that's left and the tears that come from pain, the emptiness of being shed from perhaps people or life situations or ego's identities that can feel so painful. But I also went the other way to go, and it's the, you know, the word music is so positive, the emptiness, being actually free and full of grace. We've discussed also like how the divine can just feel quite mundane, and there's an emptiness about it, but it's an emptiness that's actually stress-free and that has expansion contained in it. And so to me, these lines actually pointing to the other side, if you'd like, once that lotus has been opened, or I don't even know about all that, but just simply touching in on even what you shared before about, you know, the conversation about having the mother or the divine in one's heart, not a person. And I've been now 2-3 hours into playing with that, right? Like being open to, okay, yes, that's right, I've had a human being there, or I've tried to keep a human being there, a relationship, a primary relationship, or my parents, if I'm with them, or somebody. And instead now, if I spend a few hours with the mother, then it leaves me with nothing will be left for me, because the me is gone or is diminishing somehow. Now she's there. And utter death shall I receive at thy feet. It's like the grace of shedding the load, you know, the load of identity, the attachment, the needing to control, all of it that ego does, and actually just being in it's all positive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Beautiful.
It contains both sides.
Yes, yes. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Anyone else? It's beautiful, Swapna, that you shared, you know, it's actually the death of burdens, you know. Ego is nothing but burdens. Usually these burdens come to us in the disguise of pleasure. You know, I will give you pleasure, I will give you happiness, but very soon they are nothing but burdens. Very soon it doesn't take much longer time to see that it's nothing but burden. And then when the burden is dying away, it's actually utterly beautiful if one can enjoy that dying away of burden, that yes, I don't need to be carrying these loads on my shoulders, thinking that I am the one who is responsible for each and every person around me. You know, we are not responsible, and we are not even I think truth is paradoxical. Yeah, so many a times we encounter things which are very opposite to each other. So we are responsible for ourselves, and yet we are not responsible for ourselves at the same time. So if we can understand that in our silences, that would be really beautiful. Yeah. So we have to be utterly responsible for ourselves, and in doing that, we become completely burden free of having any responsibility whatsoever. So it goes both together. One cannot say, oh my God, you know, I have given all the responsibility to the divine, and a divine knows whatever he wants to do. That is just bullshit, nothing else. So it comes, both of it come together. That is why they say truth is paradoxical. You cannot really put truth in words, you can just point towards it. And the moment you have pointed towards it, it has again gone further away. You know, so it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, because it's the recognition of what has been hung on to for the wrong reasons, or false identity, right? Ego, clinging to this, clinging to that, believing if I can make this go a certain way, or that person do it the way I want it to. And that is my, at least in this moment, I see is the big responsibility, which is my part, is like just to recognize when I'm doing that old pattern. and then be willing for something else, and the openness. And that's why what I liked about this, the words like such as hollow and silence, and just the whole idea of being emptied for the new. But my job is to stay empty, or to recognize when I fill the space with something that is actually no longer true, or it's even an attitude. I don't even necessarily see, at least in my case, that it would mean necessarily as a whole change of outer circumstances. It may not be, but first it's the inner room to be cleaned out and tidy.
Exactly. Yeah, and that goes on forever, this cleaning, because mind is matter. Matter, you see that what happens to the matter, in few days it gathers dust. You clean it up again and then it gathers dust again. Just a second. You clean it up again and then it gathers dust. So you have to dust again. You have to dust again. And mind is like matter. Mind, matter is one. They appear different, but it's one. So the quality of the mind is also to be taken care, just like how we take care of matter. We have to constantly clean the matter. And that is why the beauty of satsangat, again, that dirt, somehow the quality of mind is so sticky. Things come and stick to it, things come and stick to it, things come and stick to it. And my job is to keep on having this inner, the temple cleaning. Inner temple has to be clean. Okay, again something is sticking, clean it off, clean it off. So that has to be going on forever. I don't think there would be ever a time in our lives where we can say, okay, now I don't need the cleaning. We really have a lot, big, beautiful way to go, all of us. Yeah. And that is the beauty, it actually is joy. It becomes joy when we turn this microscope within and we begin to do this regular cleaning. It actually becomes joy. Yeah. Great. So anything else, or shall we call it a day? All right. I think there's no further reflection or sharing. So thank you all for joining and deeply reflecting upon these words. Really appreciate. Yeah. Thanks much. And next Monday, we'll be exploring Kabirji. So we'll be doing this alternately, once Tagore, once Kabirji, every Monday at 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you. Thanks.